Colonel, I implore you. We must destroy that tower.
Sergeant, that tower is one of the oldest and most treasured of all the historically important structures. I'm not gonna be the son of a bitch responsible for turning 1,000 years of history into dust. The tower stands!
Hello YouTube and hello Ninth Age community. This is Charles with Evershade Gaming, and I'm bringing you my second game at Siege of the Tower. I played against Warriors of the Dark Gods, and it was a pretty tough game. So my wizard, she has Word of Iron, Corruption of Tin, Transmutation of Lead, and Quicksilver Lash. Didn't really want Transmutation of Lead this game. It doesn't really affect my opponent's list, but I couldn't really drop it for anything else. So, and my opponent's wizard, he has Titanic Summon, Awaken the Beast, Swarm of Insects, and Break the Spirit, which are all like A1 spells from Shamanism. And the kit on, and that's his general too. He's a Sorcerer of Change. He's got the Lucky Shield, a Scepter Power, which I thought was kind of interesting. You'll see there's a Ring of Fire, and he's riding a Wasteland Steed. So, a mobile caster. I dropped quite a bit to go first, but I've got a Hunting Chariot on my left flank, 5 Dark Raiders, a Raptor Chariot, a Bolt Thrower on a hill, or kind of half on the hill, half off. And then you can start seeing my Spearman unit. And then in my center, I have some Repeater Auxiliaries, my Executioners, my other Raptor Chariot, and then a Bolt Thrower in the Woods, and Harpies. And to finish off my deployment, I have my General by himself, and a unit of Dark Raiders. My opponent's deployment, starting on the right, he's got a Once Chosen with additional hand weapons, another unit of Once Chosen of Lust with halberds. The first one's Lust too. He also has a Vortex Beast next to them, a Blood Beast in the Woods, 5 Hounds, another Vortex Beast, and another Blood Beast all together. And then you can just see the back of his Barbarian Horseman. In front of the Barbarian Horseman is a Blood Beast, a Mauler Chariot, 18 Pestilence Warriors, another Mauler Chariot, and 5 Hounds. So he kind of has doubles of everything. 2 Vortex Beasts, 2 Mauler Chariots, 2 Blood Beasts. And he's got this Pestilence block with paired weapons, Banner of Filth, BSB and a Plankman with a Sword of Strength, and a 1-up armor save rerolling. So pretty tough army. Vanguards, he moves his Dog Sword just a little bit out of the woods, and then I move mine over here. I believe this is after he Vanguarded with those hunts too. I move my other unit of Dark Raiders up as far as I can. And we're going to go to Dread Elves turn 1. So I move my Dark Raiders to chaff up those 2 blocks, move my Chariots up to shoot at them, and then I move my Executioners up, and move my other Chariot up. Move my General on the other side of behind that hill so you can charge things that come out of the middle. And then I moved my Harpies way so they'll be in position to chaff later on. Actually, this was a mistake because they ended up failing a March block test, and then I couldn't chaff how I wanted them to. The Dark Raiders that were on the left of my field, they move up to shoot at the dogs, and the Repeater Auxiliary stayed in the field. The magic phase is 5-3, and I think I tried Quicksilver Lash on this Blood Beast, but it is dispelled. In the shooting phase, my Dark Raiders shoot at the dogs over here. They do just 1 wound, no panic test, unfortunately, but my Repeaters cause panic tests on the dogs in the middle, and they do flee, which is great. So at the start of Warrior Dark Gods turn 1, he decides he wants to charge those Dark Raiders and get them out of the way. And that's exactly what he does. And then he moves his Blood Beast over behind that rune. The dogs do rally on his turn, which is good for my opponent. And then the rest of the board looks like this. So he moved one of his Blood Beasts up really far, and then everything kind of, crept forward a little bit. We're both kind of looking for the right charges. He's got those dogs on the hill, kind of threatening my Bolt Thrower. And then, he's hoping those Lust Warriors will punch through my Dark Raiders. Magic phase is 3 dice to 1 dice, and he gets a Titanic Summon off behind Bolt Thrower, and I'm not loving that. And then in the combat phase, he actually whiffs big time against me. He has like 5 hits, and he rolls 5 2s, and the Dark Raiders pass their check. At the start of my turn, I give the Lethal Strike R, and then I charge both my Executioners and my General into this Blood Beast. My Altar moves up to keep those units in range of the aura, my chariot moves up, and then this is what the rest of my movement. My harpies failed their march block test, unfortunately, and so I could only kind of use them to chap up the one Mauler chariot. I'm hoping to put my raptor chariot into it and trying to win the chariot contest, but there's still that one Mauler chariot in the middle that's just kind of scaring me, just because the impacts will kill so many executioners. The magic phase, it is 7 dice to 4, and I throw up Word of Iron on these Dark Raiders, because he's only got strength 4 attacks. I'm kind of hoping it's a long ball, but I'm hoping, they might whiff again. I might do some wounds, and he might run away. And then I use the attribute I put the attribute on the Blood Beast, and I get Quicksilver Lash off on this guy, but it only does 1 wound. In the shooting phase, my hunting chariot turned around and shot the Totanic Summon, did 2 wounds. Both my bolt throwers shoot at it, but they both whiff that. My Dark Raiders and my hunting chariot, however, do get the dogs on the left to panic, and they just pretty much run off the board the rest of the game. In combat, my Lord easily kills Blood Beasts, and both of them will run. The Executioners do make it into one of the Vortex Beasts, which is good. And then in combat with the Dark Raiders, I lose 1 wound. I think I poke 1 wound. We end up sticking. This is the live Totanic Summon. That's going to ruin my day, unfortunately. At the start of where Darkon's turn 2, he goes into my Chaffing Harpies with his warriors. And then he kind of moves these dogs up to chaff. This happened on my previous turn. The Repeater Auxiliaries put 3 wounds on his Blood Beast. And this is what the rest of my opponent's movement looks like. Not too much going on. We're just kind of engaged in one place, and he moves one of his Vortex Beasts back into the woods. He also moves his Totanic Summon into my Bolt Thrower, which I don't like. He gets Ring of Fire off, and he does 4 wounds. And then he gets Break the Spirit off on the Executioners fighting Vortex Beast. He easily crushes my Harpies with his warriors, as one would expect. And we're still stuck in this combat over here. We kind of both deal a wound. His Totemic Summon has no problem killing the Bolter. And then with the Blood Beast combat, I do 5 wounds to him. He does some to me. I can't exactly remember what. I don't have a picture of it, but we're both stuck there. I can't remember if I won and he passed the leadership test. At the start of Dread Elves turn 3, I charge his chaff, just to get them out of the way. I charge my Dreadlord into this Vortex Beast, thinking he should do quite well. I charge my Chariot into his Chariot, also hoping to do well. Put my Dark Raiders to chaff there, and this is what the rest of the movement is there. So yeah, I did reform, so I think I might have lost that combat. I think the Vortex Beast rolled well, got a lot of hits, rolled well, got a big Thunder Stomp, probably killed at least 10 or something. It looks like there's 10 missing. The magic phase is 7 to 4 dice, but I failed to cast my first spell and I get nothing off. And then in combat, I think it was up to this point I thought I was doing quite well with everything, and I just had a series of really poor combats. So my general goes in, he's hitting on 2s, rerolling because he's got Hatred with Knob. He's rerolling on 3-ups with his Strength 6 because he's within 12 inches of the altar with Lethal Strike, and he only does 3 wounds. He fails to hit once, and he fails to wound again with only with his 3 hits, and he only does 3. And then to make matters, worse, the Vortex Beast right there, it sticks on a 4-up. So, yeah. Really surprised there. I thought my general would run right through that thing. And then finally, his Lust, once chosen, beat my Dark Raider. And this was the round where I had, I think I didn't have an armor save on or better armor save, but I had Leadership 10 and reroll. But they fail. My Executioners do put the final wound on the Vortex Beast. And then, my Chariot goes into this Chariot. I only roll up 2 impact hits, and I think 1 goes through. And then, I got 2 Initiative 6 Lances. Their weapon skill 5, he's weapon skill 5, he's Pestilence, so they're hitting on 4s with lightning reflexes. They both miss. And then he goes at me, and, between all his attacks, he kills a Chariot. They're all strength 5 attacks. I just couldn't make any armor saves. And he kills the Chariot in 1 round, and that's not looking good. Start of where of the Dark God's turn 3, he charges my Dark Riders. Both his chariots make it into Executioners, which was what I didn't want to ever happen. And then both of his Lust units get into my Altar unit, which is also something that would happen. In the Magic phase, it's 10 to 5 dice. He gets another Titanic Summon off to try and get this Bolt Thrower. He does another Ring of Fire, kills another bunch of my... And then he casts Swarm of Insects, and he finishes off the rest of the repeaters. Sorry for the upside down picture. And then in the combat with the Executioners, I put he usually kills the Dark Riders. I do 1 wound to that chariot. You know, he does a bunch of wounds with his impact hits. And then that's what it looks like after... that's after my striking, and do a couple more wounds. And then after he goes again, with all his attacks, I'm down to 8 guys. And then, this is so sad. This Blood Beast has, 2 wounds remaining. I just, between my attacks, I apparently didn't do anything. And then he just rolls, like 8 hits and does a bunch of wounds. I can't make any armor saves. And my general dies. And the worst part is he dies to a T5 monster, which I feel like is the one thing he should just, kill with no problem. This combat goes okay. I do some decent damage to the first unit in front of me. And he does, some damage to me, but I hold. So at the start of Dread Elves turn 4, I don't have any charges, so we go right into Magic. And I got a big phase, got Boxcar phase, and I cast Commandment of Tin on these 2 Lust once chosen. Just because I'm trying to get the attribute on the Blood Beast to kill him off, I roll Miscast, and my Wizard suffers 3 wounds, or 3 hits, and I roll 3 4-ups, and she dies. And I'm like, wow, where is this game going? My shooting does 1 wound to the Titanic Summon, which is definitely not enough. And then I ended up killing the rest of them, and I have to reform to look like that. He easily kills the rest of my Executioners. And then on his turn, he puts both of those Mauler Chariots into the Spear Block. He summons another Titanic Summon in his Magic phase. And he gets the Toughness buff on this Chariot, which doesn't really matter. And his Titanic Summon kills my Bolt Thrower. He does 4 wounds with impact hits. And he just crushes the Spear Block with all his attacks. Now kill any of the other Mauler Chariots. I think I put all the altar attacks on the 2 once chosen in the rear rank, but it didn't really help. I just didn't get any lethal strikes. I had that R up and I just couldn't roll. And this is where I ended up calling it right here, because I've only got those 2 chariots left, and it just really wasn't any point playing it anymore. The scenario for this second game was Here Comes the Rain, which was you had to take leadership tests on your artillery turn 1 to see if they could shoot. Didn't affect the game. Deployment was a circle. I did choose the attacker, which I think is the stronger option, or the defender, because it gives you... Yes, because the defender, because it gives you the bigger middle, which I think is just overall more effective. You can, you can keep... If you choose attacker, you have to have, you kind of have to split up your army, or you had to be pretty much all the way at the back of the board. The objective was capture the flags, which doesn't really play out, so I don't really know where things went too wrong. I think it was just some bad rolls. It was also a poor decision to move those Harpies as far as I did forward. I wasn't able to chat with them as well as I could have. Otherwise, I felt like I had to overrun with the Executioners on my turn 2, and I did get into a monster, which was great. It's just those Vortex Beasts are tough. But I want to thank everybody for watching. Please like, please comment on the video, and have a great day.